and came into effect on July 10th, 1973. Whereas, 481 years ago, the rediscovery of this family of islands, rocks and keys, heralded the rebirth of the New World. And whereas the people of this family of islands, recognizing that the preservation of their freedom will be guaranteed by a national commitment to self-discipline, industry, loyalty, unity, and an abiding respect for Christian values and the rule of law. Now know ye therefore, we the inheritors of and successors to this family of islands, recognizing the supremacy of God and believing in the fundamental rights and freedoms of the individual, do hereby proclaim in solemn praise the establishment of a free and democratic sovereign nation founded on spiritual values and in which no man, woman or child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone, or their labor exploited, or their lives frustrated by deprivation, and do hereby provide by these articles for the indivisible unity and creation under God of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
I'm LaDawn Davis, and this is the Morning Edition. And as always, it's so great to having you in our company. For the weekend weather forecast and your outlook for the forecast for the day, here's Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean.
This weather report is sponsored by Bank of the Bahamas, the bank of solutions.
Good morning, LaDawn. A cold front will enter the northwest Bahamas later on today, and that could have some impact on our weather over the weekend, so stay tuned for all the details. But outside of our studios, we have partly cloudy skies, a temperature around 75 degrees, relative humidity 94%, west-southwest winds at 8 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,014.6 millibars, that's 29.96 inches, and it is rising. Your temperatures around the islands this morning, picking up a string of 68s in Marshall, Barbacoa, so Greentoe Key and Freeport, the Berry Islands at 76, 79 in Alistown, Bimini, 77 in Harbour Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera, and Artiston, Cat Island. Daniel Key, Camp Space on Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Landers, all at 76 degrees, 77s in San Salvador, Rim Key, and even in Georgetown, Exuma, Ragged Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, and Acklands at 78, 77 in Magic Town, Inagua, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 79 degrees. And if you're flying out this morning, we'll hear some high and low temperatures you're likely to find at some of your favorite cities.
Come on! Yeah. Gotta do it. Go back to the island, boy. Let's go! Wake up early one morning, kiss my mama goodbye. Going back to the island, I say, don't worry, mama, don't cry.
And that's going to do it for your travel forecast. Now for your boating forecast for today in the northwest Bahamas. The winds will be southwest to west ahead of that cold front that's approaching. Speeds around 15 to 20 knots. Wave heights 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. So caution flags remain in place for your boaters in the northwest Bahamas. High tide 5:59 this morning. Low tide at 12:29 in the afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands, we'll have a more southeast to south component. Speeds 12 to 18 knots. The wave heights 3 to 6 feet over the ocean. And that's going to do it for your first look at Weather the Morning Edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today tonight is still ahead.
Thanks a lot, Basil. Meanwhile, our Crystal Darling and the Morning Edition team is out and about on our streets and are standing by with the Bahamas First Traffic Report.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Good morning, LaDawn, and good morning, Bahamas. We're here on Bahamas Games Boulevard by GHS. Now, as you can see from our drone cam, it's not very busy right now, but as we get into the morning, we know that this area is usually one more frequented by motorists and pedestrians. Today, I have with me Sergeant Johnson. Good morning.
Pleasant good morning to you, and a pleasant good morning, Bahamas. Okay, so we know, as I said before, we know that this area is very busy, especially with pedestrians. Now, I noticed that on this in this area, we have a bus lane for the school. How does that help with the flow of traffic?
Well, when I think about this area, like you said before, this is a high pedestrian traffic area, as well as an area that motorists use often to get to their locations. So when I'm thinking about this area and kids crossing the streets, we think about the fact that there are people who use the public service chitney systems to get to and from where they need to go. So we have a lane that is designated for bus drivers as well as motorists who usually traverse this area. What that helps with is that when the kids are come to school, they're here and they can ride straight to the school's basically gate. Understand, they can get off from there and they can go right into the schoolyard. This helps to increase safety of our kids. Whenever you have school zones, we know that you're supposed to decrease your speed. It's usually 15 miles per hour at that set time. I think we go from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then again from 2:45 to 4 p.m. All of this is to ensure the safety of our kids while in these school zones.
Okay, and there are also students around in the area, but there are other pedestrians. There are workers and other people in the area as well. So why is it important for drivers to pay attention to all of these people, especially on a highway?
Yes, well, you know, for example, we have a school just behind us, and that is a primary school, and we have a lot of the kids who live in the area that is south of that highway. In regards to that, you're going to have these individuals that are going to be crossing the highway, and sometimes we have our smaller kids. Sometimes you can't even see them as they cross the street below your hood and below your vehicle. So you want to keep an eye out, and that's where speed and distracted driving, this is things that we want to discourage while you're in these areas. Please, it's very important for you to pay attention when you're in the school zones. We want to protect our little darlings. We want to at all costs.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so sometimes we know that there's something called road rage that many drivers have, and pedestrians may sometimes agitate drivers. Is there any fine or penalties for a driver rowing out or shouting or threatening a pedestrian?
Okay, I can't say there's a fine for that, but what I could say is this. Usually when a driver has that road rage, it's because we have, I know you see with those little pockets of kids come out in these big herds and they cross the street without looking or without utilizing the pedestrian crossing. So we have some of those persons who agitate drivers while they're driving. However, there's not a fine for them. The driver is responsible to adhere to the road traffic rules and to yield to the pedestrian to allow them to cross. So unfortunately, you have to allow them to cross. So you're going to have some words being said from individuals. However, still yield to those persons. You don't want to be knocking down those persons because that's going to be a big deal for you as a driver. We're going to enforce the penalties on you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so with more on driving, could you give us an overview of what would have happened last night pertaining to traffic?
But last night we had 18 accidents involving damages, 4 accidents involving minor injury, and 2 hit-and-run accidents. During that time, we also had a vehicle that collided into a police vehicle that was blowing siren and lights. So I just want to reiterate the fact that when you have emergency vehicles, such as the police vehicles and the ambulance services, if you see these vehicles or you hear them coming, you are to pull to the side of the street. Whichever is the closest side of the street for you, you are to get to that side of the street and take your vehicle off of the road as much as possible to allow these vehicles to go where they're going. You do not want it to be your family member or somebody who knows you, who's calling for assistance and they can't get the assistance that they require. So as much as possible, yes, sometimes it's annoying, yes, sometimes it's inconvenient, but at the same time, we have to lend as much road assistance to these emergency vehicles to go where they're headed.
Okay, and also talking about the nighttime and talking about pedestrians, what advice would you have for people walking in the roads and for motorists in the nighttime?
Well, you know, even during this time of the year, we're going to have some walkathons. So I'm thinking about in the morning time and as well as in the evening time. I'm again reiterating the fact that pedestrians and motorists owe a duty of care to each other. Remember now, if I'm coming out early, I'm going to put on my light colors. I have on my light colors now because I know I'm getting up early in the morning to come and traverse the streets. Okay, so I'm urging pedestrians as much as possible, even if you don't have a light colored something to buy probably or tie something around your hand, have something light in your possession so someone can see you. Drivers usually can't see you if the road is not properly lit until they get close in your close proximity. So all of this is you need to take into consideration. The other day we brought up the whole idea about a blind spot. Blind spots, they do exist for drivers. So these are things that we need to take into consideration. So yes, motorists and pedestrians, you owe a duty of care to each other so we can get to where we're going safely.
Now, as for people catching rides and picking up people, is there any penalty for that? For people slowing down to pick up people in the middle of traffic?
We call that hindering, obstructing, or impeding the flow of traffic. So if you have to do so, just pull to the side of the street safely and allow that person to come along with you. That's a good gesture. We want to encourage it, but pull to the side of the street.
Okay. Now that's all the time we have for traffic this morning. Thank you, Sergeant Johnson. Back to you in the studio, LaDawn.
Thanks a lot, guys. Now on to our top story this morning. Health officials confirming overnight that there are now 15 persons in quarantine after returning from China within the last 20 days. Those in quarantine are said to have no symptoms, and officials maintain that there remains no suspected, reported, or confirmed cases of the virus here in the Bahamas. Meantime, the local novel coronavirus preparedness and response plan has been distributed to relevant stakeholders. Yesterday, a meeting was conducted with healthcare providers from the public and private sectors to discuss the importance of health facility plans and emphasize isolation procedures and other protocols. The Minister of Health also chaired a follow-up meeting to update the government agencies on current activities associated with the virus to resolve reported loopholes and encourage smooth and effective communication. Currently, the novel coronavirus has spread to 27 countries with 28,000 confirmed cases in mainland China and 565 deaths. Senators giving bipartisan support to the Investment Fund Amendment Bill in the upper chamber. The legislation is part of the government's efforts to remain proactive when it comes to regulating the financial services sector, while ensuring that the lucrative industry remains in line with international standards. Opening the debate, government leader in the Senate, Attorney General Senator the Honorable Carl Bethel, noted that the proposed legislation comes following talks with industry stakeholders. He said some of the changes are designed to ensure that certain investment funds have a principal office in the Bahamas, hire Bahamians, and conduct a major part of operations in the country, with some funds registered locally. Government Senator Jennifer Isaacs Dotson also supporting the Investment Fund Amendment No. 2 bill, noting that the legislation will greatly enhance the financial services sector.
The proposed amendments strengthen the Act by clarifying the scope of approval, appointment, and activity of investment funds manager, the investment funds administrator, the custodian, and the auditor. Madam President, the amendments also expand the provision for sharing information with other regulators and adjust the transitional period for the Investment Funds Act 2019 to facilitate adjustments being proposed to the amendment bill itself.
Also in the news, water and sewage employees attempting to engage in illegal action will be met with disciplinary action. This stern warning coming from the executive chairman, Adrian Gibson, in response to the Bahamas' Utilities and Allied Workers Union threat from members to withdraw their enthusiasm. Union members would have staged a protest on the corporation's grounds on Wednesday, calling for a resolution to a number of outstanding matters, including overtime pay. Gibson addressed those grievances, including an active rumor concerning employees' plans to stage a sick-out.
The corporation is desirous of an opportunity to complete and review its counterproposal, to submit the same to our board, to have board review and submission to Minister Bannister, to review with the Ministry of Finance, and then, of course, following the same, subsequent submission to BUSU. We are working on it as we speak. We have spoken to Mr. Woods along the way and sought to update him on our progress. Notably, our lead human resources executive manager has been ill. Nonetheless, WSE continues to work assiduously on our counterproposal. As such, we urge patience and good faith as we continue this process.
And a crime scene investigator testifying yesterday in the trial of 3 men accused of killing 4 people and attempting to kill 6 others in a drive-by shooting in Fox Hill 7 years ago. Defendants Peter Roll, Justin Williams, and Jermaine Curry are accused of the crime, which unfolded back on December 27, 2013. Justice Deborah Frazier is presiding over the trial. And when we come back, we take you on an inside look of Aquapure being in existence for 47 years in the Bahamas. All of that and more straight ahead.
Every dream needs a gentle push. Every tomorrow needs a warm embrace. Every ambition needs hope to take flight and the faith to pursue a unique goal. At Commonwealth Bank, we make it happen for you. Today, tomorrow, and into the future. Commonwealth Bank. Everything we do it for you.
Tired of looking for a place where a family can have some fun? Well, check this out. My name is Polly, and this is Polly's Playhouse. From an arcade to miniature golf and a train ride into the Polly Cave. Check us out in the Wong's Plaza, Madera Street. Call 356-7273.
Tourism officials on Grand Bahama making a further assessment of their destination, and now they hope to reap huge dividends. Jamila Mizik reports.
And we're really, really happy and optimistic about 2020.
General Manager at the Ministry of Tourism in Grand Bahama, Stephen Johnson, says they're pleased with the restoration efforts as it relates to tourism in Grand Bahama, and despite the damage caused by Hurricane Dorian, they're expecting record-breaking numbers.
We expect that this year, it's going to be record-breaking for Grand Bahama. As you can tell, our Director General and the Minister, they revealed last week that the Bahamas welcomed 7.2 million visitors to our shores and islands of the Bahamas, and Grand Bahama is a significant part of that, even with the passage of Dorian. So we expect that this year coming, we're going to even do better to bring tourism to our shores in Grand Bahama Island and to the Bahamas in general.
He says the ministry has sought international help to promote Grand Bahama and help revitalize the island's tourism sector.
Over the last 2 weeks, we've had about 10 major groups come here, from bloggers to travel agents to tour operators. We've had USA Today here. We had Travel Weekly. We've had major publications that have come here to write about Grand Bahama, to go back home and pass the word on. It's just been so good, the significant support we've received here.
And as for those who participated in the familiarization tour, Johnson says they were quite pleased with the experience.
We had bloggers from all over, from France, and they were just amazed to see how fast Grand Bahama recovered. They came here. They expected to find a devastated Grand Bahama, but they saw other. They saw a very prosperous destination. People out at the Fish Fry, West End, and going to the east to see various different parks. And so they were really, really happy that they involved themselves in activities, and we showed them around, and we got to millions of impressions from these bloggers that came down from France. So we're so happy that people are coming here to see us and to tell the story of Grand Bahama.
Jamila Mizik, Saturday Network News.
Thanks a lot, Jamila. With the many taxes and other fees imposed, manufacturing products and the ease of doing business here in the Bahamas can come with a lot of red tape and challenges. Yesterday, the owners of one of the leading water suppliers, Aquapure, gave us their secret to doing business while taking us on an exclusive tour of their water production facility. It's a story you'll only see here on The Morning Edition.
We have a pride that comes along with making Bahamian things, and we do it in a big way. And it's that pride in providing quality products and services that has kept AquaPure one of the leading water suppliers in business for some 47 years. Coincidentally, the same year the country gained its independence. Senior Manager Christian Knowles gave the Morning Edition team a behind-the-scenes look at the water purification process, packaging, and preparation for distribution.
We purify water through a process called reverse osmosis. And what that is basically it's taking our wells are on site. They're on the other side of the property. And we have very, very, very deep wells. They're about between 380, 400 feet. And that's straight through the bedrock. That's into what we call ocean water. That's the water of the Bahamian Bank. And we take that water that's about 27 to 30,000, what they call TDS, which is measured in parts per million. And we take that all the way down through we got about 17 different processes. And we take that down to, with our blue product, about 20, 25. And our red product, which is our ultra purified, we get that down to about 2. And that's almost pure molecular water.
But despite other water suppliers using their large Royal Blue bottles to make a profit, Knowles says manufacturing 50,000 bottles in all shapes and sizes per day can cost the company quite a hefty penny.
What we do is we take a preform, which is this thing right here, and we put it through this machine that heats and rotates it, and it goes all the way through and it blows it to a mold, and it turns this into this. So and we have all of our sizes, our 12 ounce, our 16.9, 20 ounce, 1.5, and also the Tampico bottles. We blow everything in-house. We also blow all of our 1 gallon bottles across the road at my other bottle making plant there. So, and we think that's important because when you control your process from the raw material, okay, all the way through to the end user, you control that consistency. You control what you're giving and the quality that you're giving to the people.
Another popular product the water supplier is known for is their fruity beverage Tampico. And while it's creating a buzz for its sweet taste, Knowles says sales are pretty good.
We use AquaPure water with Tampico, and we're a franchise holder, licensee, if you will. A lot of people, because Tampico is so popular in the Bahamas, a lot of people think that it's a Bahamian drink. I think it's a Bahamian drink, but unfortunately it's a company out of the United States, and we're a licensee. So what they do is they send us their concentrate and their base, and they give us their blending instructions, and we blend it, and we bottle it, and we send it out to all of the happy customers that enjoy that drink.
But the big question still remains, though. What's AquaPure's secret to its 47-year existence? Well, Knowles responded this way.
We invest heavily in making sure that even from our raw materials, we don't buy subpar materials. We buy the best materials that we can find. We source them from around the world, and a lot of people. They say other water companies, like 4 water companies, they're almost like plastic bags. But we don't go that route. We want to make sure we make a quality product. We deal with Atlantis, we deal with Bahamar. There's some business that we have with some of the food stores. Super Value is a large customer of ours. I think I told you before, we have the capability to serve water to anybody certainly on New Providence. Some of the other major islands, we do have things that go on the mailboat there. But here, we can go to every home, office, and establishment.
Well, there are many ways for you to get involved in helping to preserve the local environment for future generations. One way is through recycling. Here's Crystal Darling.
Recycling has seemed to have lost a little bit of its global popularity. However, it is advised that we never forget about doing it. We spoke to environmentalist Debbie Deal about their recycling initiative at the New Providence Community Church.
Well, this was started many years ago, and this initiative alone has shown how the community has actually embraced it. Even if you don't come to this church, people drive up and separate their trash in the way that we have it collected. Last year, it was 2,100 pounds of aluminum cans the church collected. It was 38,400 pounds of plastic and 25,000 glass bottles. That's just this church. So you can imagine if other people did it, how we would be able to make an impact on our environment.
And our environment will be in danger if we do not take the initiative to reduce our use of plastics.
We need to be more conscious of what we do. We need to, if we don't like seeing plastic bottles all around, then all we really need to do is stop buying them and have your own water container and fill it up at home with a larger bottle. But if you don't like something and it bothers you, take a stand and do something, right?
And the newly implemented plastic ban also helps to combat the issues that recycling initially made us aware of.
The items that were chosen for the first part of the ban, which are the plastic bags point of sale, plastic utensils, plastic straws, and styrofoam for food and beverage use, they were the items that were the hardest to actually separate in the landfill. And they were also the ones that end up the most in our environment. To me, that was a step in the right direction, because not only did we have that, we actually have a separate Ministry of the Environment. So it all played in together. So it was absolutely perfect.
And we spoke to a local resident about why she chooses to recycle.
Well, I come whenever I have enough to go, and I've collected a little bit to go in one of the containers. But I recycle because I really feel it's very important to recycle where you can and not to cause additional rubbish in the landfill. Especially on this island, there just isn't a lot of space. It doesn't take long to come off the road and put your stuff in here, and so I think people should give it a go.
The first step toward cultivating a better environment begins with us. Crystal Darling, 7S Network News.
Good story there, Crystal. Thanks a lot. Taking their services to Montague Beach, students from the Small Island Sustainability Department of the University of the Bahamas worked several hours uncovering heaps of bottles, plastic, and styrofoam in a beach cleanup. The exercise is just one in a series of many students have participated in since the semester started. An estimated 8 million tons of plastic and trash is tossed into the ocean each year, according to the Ocean Conservancy Foundation.
And what we see is the plastic in the ocean. So we figure in the near shore, and we figure that if we could go out there and remove it by June, as the plastic quantity decreases in the community, we should see less in the marine environment. We're providing the evidence now, because a lot of people are saying, oh, there's no reason for the ban, or it's not as hype as people making it out to be. Well, if you come and you take an opportunity to participate in a cleanup, you'd actually see the impact that the plastic actually has on the marine environment.
And they're partnering with the University of the Bahamas to take this initiative one step further to Blue Lagoon Island. Together, the sustainability students and Blue Lagoon officials also conducted a water analysis survey, conducting data on their findings that will go towards a bigger purpose.
We collect the data on the plastic and refuse that we find in the ocean and along the beaches, so that we can actually submit them to a global repository of data, and we can better understand where the pollution is coming from, what type of pollution it is, and where it ends up around the world. So, this beach here at Montague is a popular place for regattas and different celebrations out on this area. And when people come out, they use those little plastic cups for their drinks, as well as the little plastic food containers or styrofoam containers. So those are a big item, and we've found different organisms trapped inside them today.
A special seminar over in Grand Bahama promoting climate resilient agriculture and the fishing in the school system. Once again, here's Jamila Mizik.
The Department of Agriculture hosting a group of teachers to a seminar focused on aquaponics, a system of aquaculture in which the waste produced by farmed fish or other aquatic creatures supplies the nutrients for plants grown hydroponically, which in turn purifies the water. Leading the discussion was BAMSI National Youth Development Officer Azraeli Roll, who says the goal is to sensitize more young people to climate-smart agriculture.
What we want to include is more sustainable practices in agriculture, more practices that will allow us to work along with the environment to produce as much as we can produce to feed our economy. That's our number one goal, is to feed our economy. About 90% now of our food is being imported. That places a strain on our healthcare system, because now we're eating things that, chemical filled, preservative filled. When we look at our schools, not a lot of young people are interested in agriculture, and most of our farmers are aged, and I don't want to say dying, but retiring. So we are trying to get more people, more young people into agriculture, and we are looking to do it through technological advancements.
She says they're hoping that through the program, the students gain a greater appreciation for the science of agriculture, and there are some key objectives.
So what we want to do is reinforce scientific concepts and technical components in your science classrooms. We want to explore different ways that aquaponics can be integrated on a classroom level, meaning that when we put these systems in your schools, we want the science teacher, the math teacher, the food economics teacher, we want everyone to be able to integrate aquaponics and the techniques that comes with aquaponics, the components of aquaponics, and be able to apply it to some aspect of their classroom instruction.
Jamila Mizik, Saturday Network News.
Thanks a lot, Jamila. February is Heart Month, and the Bahamas Heart Association will be hosting a number of activities to ensure that you keep your heart healthy. Joining us live here on the Morning Edition this morning is President of the Bahamas Heart Association, Dr. Eurecia Herburn. Eurecia, welcome to the Morning Edition.
Oh, good morning and good morning, Bahamas. Thank you for having me on.
So talk us a little bit about some of the initiatives or activities planned for Heart Month.
Okay, for Heart Month, we have several activities, and most of these are fundraising events. If you see this tent anywhere, mainly Lowe's, I think Fidelity have some, and Omni may have, we're asking you to please drop some funds in the tin. We also have the lovely pin. Ladon is wearing one.
It, yeah.
Please zoom in so you can see. These pins are $5, and each of these things go towards ensuring that we allow our children to have their surgeries. But we have activities for the general public as well, and I'm going to list them all off for you. Tomorrow, we have our CPR training course, and really it's not a certificate, but it actually gives you an opportunity to learn about CPR, and so you get just training for the whole process. So we go from EAD, you get the full training of CPR, and it runs from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and that will be at Michael Eldon, because we partnered with the University of the Bahamas. So it's Michael Eldon on the first floor. That's on the 8th. Then we also have other activities to go along with it. Some of these are a lot fun and, you know, lighthearted, and some, of course, are a lot more serious. We have our Wellness Wednesdays, and that will take place on the 12th. And on the 19th, we had one following. And what we have is a meeting about the Heart Association. You find out more. And then we have from 30 to 45 minutes worth of exercise to get you get up and moving around. So those are free to the general public. Then we actually have a single soiree speed dating event that's going to take place on the 14th. And that's for the cost of $40. So we encourage you, if you're single, to come out, purchase a ticket. And, you know, you may meet the love of your life. Right after that, we are wearing our Heart Walk shirts. So Omni was the big sponsor for this, along with Santi, Lowe's, all our sponsors. I told everybody we'd help them on the back there. We have our Heart Month, and we are partnering actually with a disabled organization. So this walk is not going to be a typical walk. It's going to be on Clifford Park, and it's like a walk a mile in my shoe. So what will happen is you can walk blindfolded, you can walk with your leg tied, you can walk with cotton in your ears, if you want to do the walk that way. We also still have it for runners, which will be 10 laps around, and regular walkers, because we are out there walking as well, and that'll just be 5 laps. And that's on the 15th. On the 18th, we have a sip and sing. So that's the karaoke soiree. It's for $15. It'll be at Garden of Eden. You come out, we have a signature drink for you, the Unbreak My Heart. And we encourage you to sing, become a superstar. Sing and, you know, bring your donations. On the 19th, again, will be a Wellness Wednesday. And the Wellness Wednesdays start with our major sponsor, which is Doctors Hospital. They let us use their conference center, and they've been awesome corporate sponsors for us as well. On the 21st is our Go Red Health Day. And so we've been we'll have shirts, we're pushing for a person to purchase. The shirts are $20. They're not this design shirts, of course. The walk was $25. There's a different set of shirts. And we're asking all businesses, we've wrote the businesses and schools, so on that day, to wear red to signify your heart health. What most persons might not know is heart disease is the #1 killer in this country. So we're encouraging people just to raise awareness. We're out there, we want more people to know. And you could start your membership from a student all the way up to a contributor. Student membership is $5. I think our youngest member is 11. Yes, so he is out there. He supports the events. He is excellent on the membership drive.
But Eurecia, talk to us a little bit more about the Heart Association, the role and its impact within our country.
Okay, so the Heart Association actually is the educational arm. What you may find is that you hear about the foundation and the association. So we're two parts of the same coin. Our side, we come out, we do fundraising events, we come and talk about educating the Bahamas about what heart disease is. We try to raise awareness so people can know more about it. And the foundation actually assists. Again, they do some fundraising as well because they're in charge of the ball, our major fundraiser. But they assist with, you know, organizing and getting the surgeries together. So what we try to do is prevent the adults with have issues just from, of course, you know, poor eating habits and lack of exercise. But we actually facilitate surgeries for children because what you may not know is a lot of children are born with heart issues. And so the foundation, you could reach out to us at 327-0806 and 0807 if you have these issues. And they normally assist with you, you know, receiving some kind of financing. These surgeries tend to be extremely expensive, and this is why we're having so many fundraising events, because what we're trying to do is ensure that we are able to assist as many persons that need assistance.
And how can, I guess, the general public assist?
Okay, like this, just what I say, come out to support each. Most of these are paid events. We have a paint and sip, a sip and sing, some of the things we talk about. Of course, we have the tins, wherever you see it, drop some money in. Please purchase pens. And become a member and be active. Yeah, see? For $5. Look how stylish. Yes. I mean, LaDawn is. This right here is what you call a heartbreaker, ladies and gentlemen. So we encourage you, anywhere you see a tin, to drop something in and purchase a pin, drop it in the tin. We really would like you to come out and find out more about the Heart Association. Again, we are on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. Our number is 327-0806 or 327-0807.
Dr. Eurecia Hepburn, thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning Edition. And best of luck with the association this month.
Great. We hope that you participate in all of our events.
Definitely. Stay close. We've got more. You're watching the Morning Edition.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, your hottest place on the planet for rims, tints, tires, and auto sales. We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Track Lights, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king. Blessed luck.
That's how rough riders roll. It's the OT with yours truly, Charles Fisher.
Buddy Hield and the Kings have their...
Buddy Hield seemed to be having the best season of his career. He had 32 points the other night. It was a bit disappointing, Shawnee Miller not winning the IAAF World Female Athlete of the Year. The high school rankings will soon be out. Tabernacle, the defending champions, CC Sweeting, they are always there. Who will it be this year? Each Monday on 1540 AM and 104.5 FM, it's the OT with yours truly, Charles Fisher.
ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Watch our live channel to keep up with what's going on in the nation. News updates, we've got you covered. Tune into our radio stations with just a swipe. On the road, on the go, we're here with you. Available for download on the App Store and the Google Play Store.
I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home. Let the rain wash away all the pain of yesterday. I know my kingdom awaits, and they've forgiven my mistakes. I'm coming home.
climate disaster healing song has been officially released. It involves a group of Bahamian artists who teamed up for a worthy cause. They are lending their voices to impact climate change and assist persons affected by Hurricane Dorian. In our entertainment segment this morning, we share that release with you. Listen in.
Fed by the breath of the exhausted, crying out for help. And when the earth swallowed
and for many years have taken pride in introducing young Bahamians and international visitors to the wonders of our Bahamian underwater world. Our marine ecosystem helps to keep our tourism industry and fisheries sector healthy and lucrative. We must all do our part in protecting it for future generations. And that is why I ensure our staff and customers are taught about the importance of coral reefs. I do this and more to protect our underwater life because I care. Do you?
This morning is quite nostalgic for our very own director, Patrice Pender. Patrice is retiring after 37 years here at the Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the Howard University graduate in her own words.
You know, originally I liked journalism because I always loved to write, and, you know, I just said, okay, this is what I want, that I'd like to do. And so when I went to Prairie View, I started in January of 1978. And we went to a TV station and we did a tour, and I was so amazed. And I said, okay, I'm going to switch majors and I want to get into television. Unfortunately, Prairie View didn't have a TV station. So I decided I will transfer. So I did some research and found out that Howard had a very good TV program. They had a training TV station as well as a professional one. And I sent my application and I was accepted. Yeah, when I went to Prairie View in 1988, every summer I came home. My first summer I came to Sedness and they accepted me as a summer student. I came there every summer after that. Up till 1981, I was a summer student, and I graduated from Howard in 82. So when I came back home in 82, Mr. Johnson, Kelsey Johnson, saw that I wanted to be a journalist. He thought I wanted to work in the newsroom because that's where I would end up every time I came home. I told him I wanted to do broadcast production. That's what I did in school, and I wanted to be behind the scenes. It's amazing how things happen, you know. Mr. Wishcomb, Obi Wishcomb, came to me one day. I was 6 months pregnant. And he said to me, I'm looking for a director. And I went through the files, and I found your file, and you did broadcast production. I would really like for you to come into news and direct my newscast. So I said to him, well, you know, I wasn't in that frame of mind because I was sick a lot, you know. And I was like, okay, well, we talk when I get back from maternity leave. When I got back, I ended up going into the newsroom. And he told me he would give me time to get adjusted, and, you know, but it took me 2 weeks. And he was amazed because he's like, what? Who did the news? You did the news by yourself? I said, yes, sir. And, you know, we had dynamite switches then. We had Eugene Davis, we had Derek Catlin, and then we went on to Mark Thompson. There was Raymond Boleg. Then there was Sterling Strawn. He was the last one before I did. It just so happened I got to switch. Was one weekend, everybody had the flu. It was a flu epidemic going around here, and everybody had the flu. And so it was just the two of us, me, myself, and Alex Curry. He did audio, and I did switching and directing my first time doing that, and he was amazed. He's like, I thought we was going to have a problem. You know, we were live, and I just did it. I was happy, and I was like, okay, I can do it. I always was interested in what goes on behind the camera. And it was more into the technical aspect of it. Even though I didn't think of myself as being a technical person, but I loved it. And I love learning new stuff and asking questions. I stay bugging engineering, but, you know, it is what it is. This is what I wanted to do, so I went out and did it. I just want to thank the management and staff. First of all, I have to thank God, because without him, I don't know what I would do, because he's always in my life. But he has held me and kept me through so much in this corporation. In terms, I had the ups and the downs, but oh my God, this has been home for me. So I want to thank the management and the staff for having me, for allowing me to work with you. You know, the most thing about being in my position, being behind the scenes, is to realize that you have to work as a team behind the scenes, and you have to always show respect for each other's position, because everybody's position is important to the team. We have It doesn't, one time ago, this used to be a mostly male field, especially the technical aspect of it, maybe because of the heavier cameras back in the day. But today we have women flying the drones, women doing graphics, and, we're just awesome now. So anybody that coming into this field, I have to tell them, it's a very exciting field, but be prepared to work, because it's not a 9-to-5 job. I'm going to miss Sadness. I spent my life here. This is the only job I have ever had. So you put the summers in there. I've been around Sadness for 41 years. I live in Nassau. So I intend to be calling and say, hey, what's going on up there, making sure you all do your job, and so forth. But I'm looking forward to retirement. I hope I can do more traveling. And I just can take one day at a time.
If you are in a violent or abusive relationship, there is help for you. Reach out to a trusted friend or a pastor, the Bahamas Crisis Center, social services, and the police. Break the cycle. Know the signs. Have the conversation. Say no to violence against women.
Nature-based tourism supplies almost $50 million in revenue for Androsians every year. These priceless resources will continue to provide renewable benefits for thousands of people for years to come, as long as we take long-term action to preserve what's rightfully ours. The natural environment has played a vital role in our culture and economy for generations. Let's take care of nature, and nature will take care of us.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to your TGIF on the Morning Edition Sports. We are waking up here in Exuma, the Onion Bowl to be exact. That's the home of the Ellen Coakley Panthers, and yes, the Ellen Coakley Invitational is back after a few years hiatus, and the workers were busy the whole week putting the final pieces on the track as they want this to be speedy, spick and span for 2 great days of competition that will get underway later on this morning. And joining us this morning on the broadcast is the head coach of Ellen Coakley, home of the Panthers, is Antonio Sanders. Antonio, after a long wait, the meet is finally back here on home soil.
Yes, it's back on. We're glad to put it on in this 2020 season.
What made the factor for you to bring it back after such a long time not being in existence?
We realized that there was nothing really happening sports-wise for our kids. We always traveled back and forth to other islands. We wanted to bring something back here and wanted our kids to be highlighted, the feature showcase at least.
What can we expect?
You're going to expect good competition. We have some very, very good young athletes that will be coming up and they're going to be blazing. They put in a lot of work this year, and I'm just thankful to be here and represent this Ellen Coakley High School.
You're expecting teams out of New Province, Long Island, as well as here in Exuma?
Yes, we got teams coming out of Long Island, which will be NGM Major, North Long Island High. We have clubs coming out of Nassau and schools. We have C.R. Walker High School. We have SAC. We also have clubs represented through Swift Athletics, Power Athletics, High Performance, just to name a few.
Is the Onion Bowl ready?
We're ready to go. Ready to go.
All right. Talk about the importance of this meet, having such persons in town running here to show the kids here on the island what they can achieve too.
Well, I think that Exuma is one of the best kept secrets in the Bahamas, and to bring and highlight not only the athletes here, but the school and the island itself. It's great to showcase all of that, and we want to show the Bahamas that Exuma is still here athletically.
What's the schedule going to look like for today?
Well, today we're going to have sprint events. We're going to start off with the 400, go into the 15, and back to the 100s. It's going to be quick, and we want to focus on individual events today.
Short opening ceremony this morning. Had a chance to see the Ellen Coakley Panthers musical section they're going to put on the show this morning. So not only will athletes be on display, but you'll also have a chance to see some of the culture that the school has to offer.
Yes, they will. Our school is very diverse, and we have a lot to offer. So you will see that in days to come at Bahamas.
Want the whole Exuma to come on down. 2 great days of competition gets underway early in the morning each day, Friday and Saturday, and we're going to expect some great competition in the studio.
Most definitely. We want all of Exuma to come out. We want the support. We need you here cheering our kids on, giving them, I guess, showing that you have the full support in here. Thanks.
Now we're going to pull in here Ednall Roll. He's now the head coach at the University of Bahamas with the Mingos. He was once head coach here at Ellen Coakley. How does it feel to be back?
Oh, man, it's a great feeling to be here, Fisher. I'm telling you, the atmosphere is just like the first time coming here when I started with the Ministry of Education.
What are your purpose here this weekend?
Well, of course, my purpose this year is to recruit. Just like any other university, I want the best, and I know coming from here, the talent from Exuma is vast. So when I got that call from Antonio stating that he's bringing back the Inter-Island, oh, so much excitement, so much joy for these student athletes to have that opportunity, because I know the importance of them showcasing their talent here at home. But sometimes, you have the financial difficulty to come into Nassau, for the parents to afford for them to come into Nassau and get that competition. But now they can be here in Exuma and have the competition come to them, and university like myself to come and recruit and see the talent here in Exuma.
And you're, like I say, one of their own, so they know that they can achieve something. You're coming from here, helping them. Now you're at UB, you can help them as well. Yes,
this is important that I help Bahamians, particularly young ones who are vulnerable, who need that guidance, and for me, who came up on the track and field and used my talent to get a college education, and now to be, at this stage in my career, a head coach at the University of Bahamas. I want the kids to have that same opportunity, because my coach believed in me, and that turned my whole life around. And I believe in these kids, and I want to instill the same thing in them.
What are you expecting from the 2 days of competition?
Well, I expect, of course, good competition. Like Antonio said, there's some good competition coming out of Nassau. You have some of the clubs, and I haven't seen the talent here in Exuma, but I know there's a vast amount of talent competition here. So I want to take the best. So I'm definitely looking for another Chanisha Capron, another Samson Colebrook, another Jeremy and Bristol, and another Mika Josie, who are now, Samson, is one of the top in the world right now, and he started right here at Ellen Coakley. Right here, my first year here, Samson was like, he wanted to represent his country on the world scene, and that was said 6 years ago, and now it has come to fruition, because I took that opportunity, and I say, this is what you're going to have to do. He was not too bright in his schoolwork, but there were teachers here who were willing to help, willing to assist, and, to get him to where he is now in his life. And he said to me this year, Coach, I'm getting ready to finish college. I said, boy, look how time flies, huh? Look how time flies. You're number one pretty much in the country right now, and, coming from Exuma, now you're here one more year to finish college. It's just so amazing that I'm just excited, like I said, to give these younger athletes, these Ellen Coakley stars, the same opportunity, so you could be another Samson Colebrook, who's now getting ready to be a professional once he finished. Great story there.
And 2 of those athletes that's hoping to follow in the footsteps of Samson Colebrook also joining us here this morning. First of all, give us your names.
Raquel and Bristol.
What event will you be competing in?
100 and the 200.
What can we expect from you on the track here?
I just want them to know that it's going to be very hard to beat me.
So how come? How's training been going?
It's been going very well. Training every day, working hard. My coach there, he makes sure that I get everything that I need done.
And you're ready for whoever comes in from Long Island and New Providence, and also right here in Exuma?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And your name and what events you'll be competing in?
Hi, my name is Rugami Sweeting. I will be competing in the 400 meter and 800 meter.
What can we expect from you on this track?
Well, our coach has prepared us for this for our whole lives, so we've been preparing for this.
And what can we expect from the whole Panther organization? You know you want to set a statement here.
Well, you can expect that competition is coming. This is the Exuma. We will not be.
Do not let them get to you.
Yeah, we will not let them get to us.
How do you feel the team is going to perform?
We're going to perform good because they're coming on our track. So we're going to show them that they can't beat us on our track.
So the Panthers ready to claw?
Yes, sir.
There you have it. If you're headed here to the Ellen Coakley Track and Field Invitational, you better come with your claws clicking because these two athletes are ready to put on a show. Once again, the meet gets started early this morning after 9 o'clock for the official opening ceremony. And then there's trackside also on the field. And ZNet Total Sports is here. Charles Fisher, along with my cameraman Lyndon Smith, will be providing some of the action coming up later on this evening in the Evening Sports Pocket with Jonathan Benson. So make sure and stay tuned for that. Until here in the Onion Bowl, enjoying the Island life. Back to you in the studio, LaDon. It's the OT with yours truly, Charles Fisher.
Buddy Hield and the Kings have their...
Buddy Hield seems to be having the best season of his career. He had 32 points the other night. It was a bit disappointing, Shawnee Miller not winning the IAAF World Female Athlete of the Year. The high school rankings will soon be out. Tabernacle, the defending champion, CC Sweeting, they are always there. Who will it be this year? Each Monday on 1540 AM and 104.5 FM, it's the OT with yours truly, Charles Fisher.
In our final look at whether we're going to get you to our satellite picture, if we can just get this thing switching, it's just not doing that. But we do have that foul boundary now approaching the Northwest Bombers on this final day of Patrice Pinder on the job, and we're having some technical difficulties here. But that front will go through later on tonight. We expect the clouds to start rolling in during the afternoon hours, some showers developing as well, maybe 1 or 2 embedded thunderstorms. But behind that, we expect a nice cool down, which will take place on Sunday, and then things will start warming up as we get into the early part of next week. Wind-wise, the winds are going to be out of the southwest to west, around 15 to 20 knots, so caution flags remain in place for the entire Bahamas throughout the day, so boaters are actually exercise caution. And our extended weather forecast over the next 7 days, we expect those rains to ease up as of Saturday afternoon. As we go into Sunday, lots of sunshine returning into the forecast, and that will take us right into the early part of next week. LaDon?
Thanks, Basil, and we want to send out a very special happy birthday to breast cancer survivor advocate Andrea Sweeting and our very own Trevor Mackey, who are both celebrating their birthdays today. Now, it's a bittersweet moment here on the morning edition as we say our final goodbyes to our technical director, Patrice Pinder. Now, we're now in the PCR area of the newsroom, and we're going to go around the room and talk to a few persons who have been working closely with Patrice Pinder. I have with me now Ashley Whitney. Ashley, talk to me a little bit about your personal relationship with Patrice Pinder.
Well, this is my breakfast buddy. This is my girl. This is the first person I see every morning, 5 o'clock in the morning when I come in with my screw face, and she tell me fix my face. The first person to call me in the morning when I don't want to pick up the phone, I know it's her. I don't even have to pick up the phone to know it's her. I know it's her. Hey, you all right? How you doing? Okay, meet me downstairs. They ready for you. Uh-huh. So she always got everybody on her toes. I got miss eating them good omelets at all. My world traveler. Oh, one person off the team, Donnie. But don't worry, we can link up. Road time.
And Anita, your moments with Patrice?
My moments with Patrice was exciting. I met Patrice 30 years ago. And from I came into ZNS, she was my mentor, my friend, my sister, my everything. We were even pregnant together at one point. We had many lunches together, and she encouraged me a lot, and she gave me that zeal to go on. And I want to say to my friend Patrice, you're retiring, but, you know, life begins now. And like Ashley said, on the road. Road time.
And our producer, Betty Thompson-Moss. Now, I know you've worked real closely with Patrice. Talking about your...
This is the first call I receive in the morning, about 4:20, 4:30. Betty, what's in the lineup? What's in the rundown? What are we doing today? Patrice, it's a special day for you. It's a new chapter. I want to wish you all the best. Relax, enjoy. It's a special moment for you. We will miss you, but all the best, honey. We love you.
Charlene, you want to say a few words for Patrice?
Miss you.
Agatha?
Well, I want to say all the best, Patrice. Like Unita said, I met you over 30 years ago, and I was admired to see a female in the production field, directing and switching, and because of her, I'm where I'm at today, and I want to say thank you for that.
I'm going to go around the room. I see we have Rodney Davis is here. We have Neil Benjamin is here. Basil is also here. Neil, I know you've also been working closely with Patrice. Talk to me about your moments with her.
Well, not as close as Betty or Agatha or Unita. Patrice is a good buddy. She emails WhatsApp me every morning. Good morning, something nice to say. See you later, Patrice, and we'll talk again.
Basil, you want to say anything?
Well, I'm certainly going to miss Patrice. Those calls in the morning reminded me that, Basil, I'm not seeing your water up. She's a very particular director, I must say, and, of course, those panic attacks as well, you know, because when things are not going right, you can hear those screams coming through the earphones, right? So, Patrice, you had a good run, and we wish you all the best.
So we're now going to go and we're going to say we're going to have the lady of the hour say her final goodbyes. Patrice, we're definitely going to miss you here on the morning edition. I know I'm going to miss you for so many reasons, and all the best of you. Best of luck to you as you retire.
First of all, Basil, I never panic. All I do is put you to the back of my newscast. But anyway, well, actually, it's Betty's newscast. But what can I say? It's been a good run, and I'm going to miss all of you. I try my best to be the best, and I always try to uplift my team as we go. You know, it's hard getting up this time in the morning, and, you know, some days everybody's not on the same page. So, you know, it's just, I don't know. I just could miss everybody. It's very hard. Yes, Ashley, I will miss breakfast. But I need to go on a diet. But anyway, you know, thank you so much. I just want to thank you all for working with me. Thank you for being there. Thank you, Betty, it's your fault that I'm on this morning. But I want to say thank you for pushing and making sure I get back into the seat. But, you know, I just want to encourage you all to do the best all the time. And always remember, I will be watching. Do your best.
We'll be in constant contact with you to see how you're doing on your retirement.
Thank you.
And that does it for us on the Morning Edition. For the entire Morning Edition team, I'm LaDawn Davis. Make it a great Friday, everyone.
Watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Demanding a resolution to a litany of grievances, including no industrial agreement. That agreement expired June 2018. A new proposal would not have been delivered until the following year. Given the circumstances, Gibson says the Water and Sewage Corporation should be given the same liberty.
Corporation is desirous of an opportunity to complete and review its counter-proposal, to submit the same to our board, to have board review and submission to Minister Bannister, to review with the Ministry of Finance, and then, of course, following the same, subsequent submission to Boussou. We are working on it as we speak. We have spoken to Mr. Woods along the way and sought to update him on our progress. Notably, our lead human resources